Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Story Couch. On a peaceful evening at Burgi Dam, Jabalpur, dozens of families boarded a tourist boat expecting nothing more than a beautiful sunset. Children laughed, parents took photos, and a young mother spent the evening making memories with her 4-year-old son. But within hours, a sudden storm would turn that peaceful ride into a nightmare. Days later, rescuers would discover a mother and her child beneath the water, still holding each other. What happened during those final moments became one of the most heartbreaking stories anyone had ever heard. The evening of April 2026 felt almost magical. The water of Barni Dam were calm. The sky glowed orange as the sun slowly disappeared behind the distant hills. Families filled the tourist boat. Some were recording videos, others were taking selfies. Children ran from one side of the deck to the other, laughing and shouting with excitement. Among them was Anya and her 4-year-old son Rohan. The moment he stepped onto the boat, he could not stop smiling. Mommy, look at the water, he shouted. It looks endless. Anya laughed. It does, sweetheart. She adjusted the small life jacket hanging loosely around his shoulder. The bright orange vest looked far too big for him, but Rohan wore it proudly, like a tiny explorer. As the boat moved further into the dam, the wind became cooler, the water sparkled beneath the evening sun. Everything felt peaceful, safe, normal. Rohan leaned against his mother and pointed toward the horizon. Can we come here again someday? Anne smiled, of course. The little boy grinned, rested his head on her shoulder. Neither of them knew that this would become the most important evening of their lives. Several passengers continued taking photos. A group of teenagers laughed near the rail. Music played softly from the boat's speaker for a few precious moments. Nobody worried about anything, but far away, beyond the hills, dark clouds were beginning to gather, and the river was about to change forever. At first, nobody took the weather seriously. A few passengers noticed the dark clouds. Some pointed toward the horizon, others simply continued taking photos. After all, it was only a little wind, or so they thought. Anya pulled Rohan closer as another cold gust swept across the deck. The boat rocked slightly, just enough for people to notice. The music stopped. Several passengers looked around nervously. For the first time that evening, the captain's expression changed. He walked quickly toward the control cabin. The crew members exchanged worried glances. Something was not right. The sky that had been orange just minutes ago was now turning gray, been darker and darker. The wind became stronger. The calm water began to ripple. Tiny waves slapped against the side of the boat. Rohan tightened his grip on his mother's hand. Mommy, his voice sounded smaller now. Something wrong? Anya forced a smile. No, sweetheart, but deep inside. She was not sure. A cloud crack of thunder exploded across the sky. Several children screamed. Passengers rushed towards the covered section of the boat. Rain began falling. First a few drops, then dozens, then hundreds. Within seconds, the storm arrived. The peaceful evening disappeared. People grabbed their belongings. Parents searched for the children. The crew tried to calm everyone down. Please stay seated. One crew member shouted, "We are returning to shore." But panic was already spreading. The wind howled across the dam. The boat rocked harder. A woman lost her balance and nearly fell. A man grabbed the railing. Children started crying. The rain became so heavy that it was difficult to see beyond a few meters. Hanya wrapped both arms around Rohan. The little boy buried his face against her chest. Mommy, I'm scared. For a moment, she looked toward the distant shoreline. It seemed impossible far away. Then another powerful wave slammed into the side of the boat. The entire vessel lurched violently. Passenger screamed, a chair slid across the deck, glass shattered somewhere behind them, and for the very first time, Anya felt fear, a real fear, not for herself, for her son, because suddenly she realized this was not just a storm anymore. Something terrible was about to happen, and the boat was running out of time. The next wave was stronger than all the others. It slammed into the side of the boat like a wall. The entire vessel tilted violently. Passengers were thrown from their seats, children screamed, luggage slid across the deck. On somewhere below, something broke. A loud metallic crash echoed through the boat. Then came another sound, the sound nobody wanted to hear. Water rushing in, fast. One of the crew members ran toward the lower cabin. A few seconds later, he came back pale. Water is getting inside. The panic exploded instantly. People pushed toward the exit. Parents grabbed their children. Some passengers began crying. Others froze in shock. The boat continued rocking as rain pounded against the windows. Anya held Rohan tightly against her chest. The little boy was trembling. Mommy, his voice cracked. What's happening? Anya looked into his frightened eyes. For a moment, she could not find the words. Then she gently touched his face. Stay with me, sweetheart. Okay, Rohan nodded, trying to be brave. Another golden wheel struck. This time the lights flickered, then went out completely. Darkness for a second. Nobody could see anything, only screams, rain, and thunder. When emergency lights finally turned on, the situation had become much worse. Water was now spreading across the floor. Passengers were standing on benches and seats, trying desperately to stay above it. The crew handed out life jackets. Some people already had them on. Others struggled to fasten them while the boat continued to sway. Anya quickly checked Rohan's life jacket twice, then a third time. She pulled the straps tighter, making sure they would not come loose. Nearby, a child became separated from his mother. People shouted names, she prayed, others cried. The storm swallowed every sound. Then came the announcement everyone feared. The captain's voice crackled through the emergency speaker. Everyone remained calm, but his voice was shaking. The boat is taking on water. For a moment, the entire cabin fell silent. Everyone understood what that meant. Anya looked toward the distant shoreline. It was still far away, far too far. The little boy wrapped both arms around her neck and whispered, Mommy, are we going home? Anya felt tears forming in her eyes, but she forced herself to smile and kissed his forehead. Yes, sweetheart, we are going home, even though, for the first time that night. She was not sure if that was true. The boat tilted again, harder than before. Water rushed across the floor and all around them. People realized the same terrifying truth: the boat was not going to make it. The final wave came without warning. A massive wall of water crashed into the boat. For a moment, everything seemed to stop. Then the boat rolled violently to one side. Passengers were thrown across the deck. Screams filled the air, and within seconds, people began falling into the dark water. The storm had won. Anya wrapped both arms around Rohan. The impact knocked them to the floor. Cold water rushed around them. The boat was sinking fast, too fast. Someone shattered a window. Others pushed desperately toward the exit. Every second felt like chaos. Every second felt like survival. Anya struggled to her feet, holding Rohan against her chest. Rain hit her face like needles. The river around them had become a nightmare of waves and darkness. Then suddenly, the floor disappeared beneath her, and both of them plunged into the water. The shock stole her breath instantly. The river was freezing, violent, merciless. A For a few terrifying seconds, she could not tell which way was up. Then she surfaced, gasping, coughing, still holding Rohan, still refusing to let go. Around her, people cried for help. Some clung to floating debris, others vanished beneath the waves. The storm swallowed every sound. Rohan buried his face against her shoulder. Mommy, his voice was barely audible. I'm scared. Anna held him tighter. So am I, sweetheart. The words escaped before she could stop them, but then she forced herself to smile. Even through the fear, even through the darkness, just hold on to me. No matter what happens, I'm right here. And for the next several minutes, a mother fought a battle she knew she could not lose, not for herself, but for her son. The river kept rising around them, wave after wave slammed into Anya's exhausted body. Every muscle burned, every breath hurt, but she never loosened her grip. Not even once. Rohan sat partially above the water because she kept lifting him to higher. Every time a wave came, she pushed him upward. Every time she slipped, she pulled him back against her chest. The storm showed no mercy, but neither did a mother's love. Far away, a rescue light appeared, a tiny light dancing through the rain. Anya saw it and hope returned. For the first time in what felt like forever. Look, sweetheart, she pointed toward the distance. See that light? Rohan nodded briefly. Yeah, they are coming. The little boy smiled, trusting her completely, the way only a child trusts his mother. The rescue boat grew closer, but no fast enough. The river was stronger. Anya's body was growing weaker. Her arms scrambled. Her legs barely moved. Yet she continued lifting Rohan higher above the water again and again and again. Then Rohan looked up at her. His small voice almost disappeared beneath the storm. Mommy, when we get home, can we come here again? The question shattered her heart. Anya felt tears mixing with rain. She kissed the top of his head and whispered, Of course, sweetheart, we will go anywhere you want. For a brief moment, Rohan smiled, then rested his head against her shoulder. The rescue lights were still there, still fighting through the darkness, but the storm was winning, and deep inside, Anya began to understand something. She might not be able to save her son, but she would spend every remaining second trying to save him, no matter the cost. The rescue lights were closer now, close enough to see, close enough to give hope. But hope was not always enough. Anya's body was reaching its limit. Her arms felt numb. Her breathing had become slow and painful. Yet she continued holding Rohan above the water. Every second, every wave, every breath, the little boy looked up at her. His eyes were tired, but he still trusted her completely. Mommy, he whispered softly, Are we going to be okay? For a moment, Anya could not answer. Not because she did not know what to say, but because she knew the truth. The storm was stronger than she was. The river was stronger than she was. And time was running out. Still, she forced a smile, the same smile she had given him since the day he was born. Then she gently brushed the wet hair from his forehead and whispered, Close your eyes, sweetheart. Mommy is right here. Rohan nodded slowly, trustingly, then rested his head against her shoulder. The rain continued to fall, the thunder continued to roar, the rescue lights continued searching through the darkness, but Anya stopped looking at the storm, stopped looking at the river, stopped looking at everything except her son. Because in that moment, nothing else mattered. She tightened her arms around him and held him closer than ever before, as if she could protect him from the entire world. Even now, even here, even at the very end, the storm finally passed, but the river remained silent, dark, endless. Rescue team searched throughout the night, And through the next day, many passengers were found alive, others were not. Families voted, prayed, hoped for news, any news. Then, several days later, rescuers made a discovery beneath the waters of Bargi Dam, a discovery that left even experienced rescue workers speechless. They found a mother and her little boy still together, still holding each other. The life jackets remained fastened, and the child's head rested against his mother's chest. And even after everything, she had never let go. No one knew exactly what her final moments looked like. No one knew what her last words were. But everyone knew one thing until her very last word. She was a mother. A storm had taken her life, but it never broke her promise. Because when her son had asked, "You will stay with me, right?" she had answered, "No matter what happens, mommy will always be with you." And somehow, even in the darkest moment of her life, she kept that promise. Some heroes wear uniforms, some heroes receive medals, and some heroes are simply called mom. A mother's love does not end when the storm begins, it does end when fear arrives, and sometimes it does not even end when life itself comes to an end. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more emotional stories. And remember, the strongest force in the world is not a storm, it's some other love. See you in the next story. Bye bye. Take care.